والے سلام صابرو، اگر رسول کی صحبت مقام دیتی ہے، اگر رسول کی صحبت مقام دیتی ہے، تو کیوں بلند نہ ہوں پھول مصطفیٰ والے سلام صابرو، اتر کے پانی میں پیاسے ہی ہو گئے واپس، اتر کے پانی میں پیاسے ہی ہو گئے واپس، وفا جو کہتی ہے عباس ہیں وفا والے، وفا جو کہتی ہیں عباس ہیں وفا والے، تھی چرچا شام میں آؤ چلے کہ دیکھائیں، تھی چرچا شام میں آؤ چلو کہ دیکھائیں، بغیر پردہ ہے تطہیر کی ردا والے سلام صابرو، جہاں بھی چادر زینب کا ذکر ہوتا ہے، جہاں بھی چادر زینب کا ذکر ہوتا ہے، تو پھوٹ پھوٹ کے روتے ہیں سب حیا والے سلام صابرو، مظلوم کربلا والے خدا ہے آپ کا اور آپ ہیں خدا والے سلام صابرو، صلوات۔
Brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Please join me in welcoming Sayyid Mostafa al-Modaressi to the minbar with the recitation of a loud salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله الذي هدانا لهذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله لقد جاءت رسل ربنا بالحق. السلام عليك يا رسول الله وعلى أهل بيتك المظلومين الغر الميامين المنتجبين، لا سيما الإمام المبين والكهف الحصين وغياث المضطر مستكين مولانا وسيدنا وولي أمرنا الحجة ابن الحسن فداه أرواح العالمين. صلى الله عليك يا أبا عبد الله يا حسين بن علي وعلى المستشهدين بين يديك. Please recite aloud salawat. Despite the lack of media coverage, the world's biggest and most peaceful annual gathering in history is now underway. Something that has no parallel, absolutely unmatched in history. Now people would rally, would voice their objection, would protest, would take to the streets for many reasons. History has witnessed a lot of marches, a lot of protests throughout history. People would protest for political reasons, for economical reasons, for religious reasons, for ethnic reasons. But there is nothing that comes even close to the grand ziyarah of Arbaeen. The most recent protest that was witnessed was a protest that happened in London in regards to Brexit. You all know that Brexit is something that implicates millions of people, and perhaps even tens of millions of people are impacted by Brexit. It has economic implications, social implications, and political implications. And from the beginning, this subject was a very polarizing subject in the United Kingdom. When people went to vote, 51% voted yes, and 48% of the people in Britain voted no. Now, what happened later on, with all the difficulties that they faced when negotiating the terms with the Europeans, a lot of people withdrew their support. In addition to all of that, there were massive campaigns to undermine Brexit. Massive campaigns. This is why perhaps if another referendum takes place in the United Kingdom, the majority would say no. And in light of the hype, of the momentum that was created, the media and different political groups, they called for demonstrations, mass demonstrations for the people to take to the streets and rally in the streets and voice their objection in the streets of London. The media described this recent protest as massive and huge. And you would expect a country with a population of over 70 million people, with more than half of the population opposed to Brexit, you would expect a large number to turn out and to participate in the rally. However, what was described by the media as huge and massive was actually a mere 500,000 people taking part in the rally. Now, 500,000 people is a large number, but when compared to the Arbaeen, it pales. Let's look at other protests that happened in history and are happening today. The Women's March that happened in Washington. The Women's March affects more than half of the American population. It concerns all the women in this country. And when you listen to the speeches that were given by the women that spoke in the march, you would really sympathize with some of them, because they talk about how they are subjected to so many pressures in the society. They are being persecuted. They talk about equality. They talk about how all these pressures are mounting and they want solutions to these problems, right? But how many people participated in the march? 1 million. Again, the Arbaeen eclipses this rally and every other rally in history. Or Black Lives Matter, that touches upon a very sensitive issue. African Americans were persecuted throughout history. And this would unite them all. They come together to protest, to rally in the streets, and voice their objection. But again, when you look at the numbers, they're nothing compared to the Arbaeen. According to the American government's official estimate of the number of people that took or take part in this annual gathering, they say that it's not less than 20 million people. 20 million people. And according to official estimates, although I don't believe in these estimates, they say that Shias are a minority within Islam. So we're a minority within Islam, and yet the biggest rally in history that takes place annually is ours. What makes this issue even more interesting is the fact that it takes place in Iraq. Of all places, it takes place in Iraq. Now, our impression of Iraq, because Iraq is the country that houses our holy shrines, we paint a very rosy picture of Iraq. But for non-Shias and non-Muslims, The word Iraq is synonym to war. It's synonym to carnage. It's synonym to ISIS. It's synonym to terrorism. It's a war-torn country. This is why a lot of people that go to ziyarah, when they come back, Shias from the West, when they come back to their countries, they are questioned by the authorities, by immigration officers about their intent. What motivated you to go to Iraq, to a war-torn country? Some know, some don't. The people that know also know that you might be going to Iraq to either join ISIS or to perform holy pilgrimage. But for the people that don't know, Iraq is a war-torn country. How could you go to Iraq and put your life on the line, risk your life, not to gain anything, not to profit, but to lose? Why do you go to Iraq? When you go to Google and type these words, the least visited countries in the world, you'll see Somalia on that list. Obviously, because Somalia, there is a civil war going on in Somalia. This is why only 200 people, I'm talking about international visitors, visit Somalia per year. And you will find Libya on that list. Again, Libya, as described by some, is now a hellhole. It's a war-torn country. This is why very few people visit Libya. And then you find Syria. But you would expect to find Iraq on that list. Because when you compare Iraq with these countries, Iraq is much worse. The number of people that were killed since the fall of Saddam, or even before the fall of Saddam, is much greater than the number of people that were killed in Libya, Somalia, and Syria, perhaps combined. I once saw an interview with a gravedigger in Iraq who worked in Wadi Salam. He said that we never stopped burying people that were killed in wars. He said, since the start of the Iranian-Iraqi war that took place in the beginning of the 80s until 1988, for 8 years people were getting killed. And even after the war, they kept finding bodies and they were burying the bodies. And then after that, the first Gulf War took place, and then the second Gulf War, and then the sanctions in Iraq, and then after the fall of Saddam, terrorism became prevalent in Iraq. So we never stopped burying people that were victims of terrorism and war. So you would expect Iraq to be on that list, especially because Iraq is very segregated. So you have different political groups within one sect that fight against each other, that kill each other in Iraq. And you have different sects fighting against each other. You have extremists killing the Shias in Iraq, for example. Extremists who claim to be Muslims. And you have different ethnic groups fighting against each other. Different religious groups fighting against each other. It's a very segregated society. A lot of people have been killed. So you would expect Iraq to be on that list. However, Iraq finds its way in another list. The list of the most visited countries in the Middle East. Why? What's the reason? Subhanallah, we have a narration that says the reason why God chose Mecca to be the place for His house is so that people would only go there to perform Hajj. Because if the Kaaba was in the Swiss Alps, for example, people would go there for skiing and to perform Hajj. Or if the Kaaba was in Orlando, people would go there to go to Disneyland and to perform Hajj. Or if the Kaaba was in Hawaii, people would go there for the scenic places and to perform Hajj. But God chose Mecca. rough terrain, terrible weather, so that the people that go there only would do so because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded them to go to Hajj. The same thing applies to Iraq. The people that go there, the services in Iraq, they're below zero. There is no tourism ministry in Iraq. This is why the tickets are very pricey, they're very expensive. When you want to go to Orlando, there is a tourism industry that takes care of these things. They would subsidize the ticket prices so that you go there and spend money. But with Iraq, it's not like that. And you're risking your life. You're putting your life on the line. To do what? To profit? To make gains? No. Now when we come to this ziyarah, I don't call it a ziyarah. I call it a phenomenon. This phenomenon needs to be examined, needs to be studied, just like any other natural phenomenon that scientists study to extract laws from it. Especially given that the past was very different from the present. When we look back at what happened to Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam on the day of Ashura, if you were there to witness the tragedy, it would have been impossible for you to imagine such an outcome. He stood there alone by the entrance of the tent after the martyrdom of all his children, all his companions, all his friends, all his relatives. One of the historians who was there taking account of what was happening, his name was Hamid ibn Muslim, he said that I've never seen a man, ما رأيت مكثورا قط, a bereaved man who has lost his children, who has lost his brothers, who has lost his companions, who is as strong, as brave as this man. He stood by the entrance of the tent. هل من ناصر ينصرنا هل من ذاب يذب عنا هل من خائف يخاف الله فينا. Is there anyone willing to lend a hand of support, to support the progeny of Rasulullah, to fear God by supporting the progeny of his Prophet? No one answered him. All the people that had gathered were there to shed his blood. So the Imam was alone. And they killed the Imam. Did they just kill the Imam? No. So they killed the Imam, and they used every weapon at their disposal. Every weapon at their disposal to sever the Imam into pieces. They used daggers, swords, spears, stones, sticks. This is why Imam Zayn al-Abidin in the city of Kufa, Lady Zainab gave a sermon, she gave a speech, and she made everyone cry. But she admonished the people of Kufa, and she mopped them with the floor. Then Imam Zayn al-Abidin approached his auntie Zainab and said, Amma ya Zainab, it's better to calm down. So the Imam calmed them down, all the children, all the women. Then he sat in a corner and began to cry. They came to the Imam. They said, Ya ibn Rasulullah, you're trying to calm everyone down while you sit in a corner and cry? He said, yes. أنا ابن من قتلوه بالسيف والرمح والسهام والحجارة والعصا والحصى. They used everything that they had to kill my father. And this is why, as I mentioned last night, one of the ways that Lady Zainab used to identify her brother is look at the pile of arrows and daggers and stones, and where the most stones and arrows were piled up to locate her brother Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. But they were not content with just killing him. What they did afterwards was They received orders from Ubaydullah ibn Ziyad. وَأَوْطِئِ الْخَيْلَ صَدْرَهُ وَظَهْرَهُ. Trample over his body with horses. Horses with new shoes. Sharp new shoes to dismember the body, to mutilate the body. So they trampled over the bodies with horses. And then they decapitated the bodies, placing the heads on long spears. Were they content with that? No. They raided the tents, instigating fear in the hearts of the women and children. And then they burnt the tents on the head of the children and the women. Some say 50 children were killed on that day in the stampede. 50 of the kids that were there, they were killed in the aftermath. Some say 15, some say 50. And then they paraded the women and the children. And the heads were on long spears, but every now and then, just to add to the anguish, they would lash the heads with their whips. And then they took the heads to Ibn Ziyad and then to Yazid, placing them in buckets and hitting them with their sticks. So they did everything they could to uproot the name of Hussein, to absolutely and categorically destroy Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. Everything that they could. And God did not interfere. God didn't stop them. Sometimes God interferes. Some despots, some dictators, when they want to embark on something like a heinous crime, God can interfere, and sometimes He interferes. But with this specific tragedy, God did not interfere. Feel free to do what you desire to do. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala came and He turned the tables. It's astonishing. It's amazing that everything that they did was utilized by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to elevate Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. We have a narration that the angels, sometimes because they witness everything that takes place on earth, sometimes they are amazed at how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala operates. One of the cases is when everyone in the world, they try to humble and humiliate someone, and God wants to elevate that person. Everything that they do, every effort that they make will be used against them by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to elevate the status of that person. Like in the story of Yusuf alayhi salam. So they take their brother. First of all, they beat him up. They beat up their brother. Then they throw him in a well. Then they see a caravan passing by. They stop by the well. They take out the brother, Yusuf alayhi salam, who is only 6. Then they think to themselves that if their brother tells them about who their father is and what their brothers did to him, they would bring him back to Yaqub. So they run. They go quickly and tell the caravan that this is a slave of ours and he's rebelled against us and he fell in that well. So they take their brother Yusuf and they tell him, Yusuf, if you admit that you're our brother and you're the son of Yaqub, we'll kill you. Our intention was to kill you, but because of Lawi, who said that we should throw you in a well, we spared your life, we didn't kill you, but next time we're going to kill you. So you should play along. We said that you are our slave, and you have to say that you are our slave. So they came back to the caravan. They said to them that he's our slave, but we're willing, if you're interested in him, if you think he looks good, we're going to sell him to you. They said, okay, for how much? They sold him for 19 dirhams. According to our narrations, 19 dirhams was the price of a wild dog. Why? Because they wanted to humiliate him. They wanted to tell the caravan that this slave is worthless. Don't treat him well. So look at the efforts to just further humiliate him. And then he's enslaved. He works as a slave inside the palace. And then he grows up. He's a teenager. The wife of the chief tries to entice him to commit the sin. When he refuses, she says, فَإِن لَمْ يَفْعَلْ مَا آمُرُهُ لَيُسْجَنَنْ. If he doesn't yield to what I want him to to pressure, then I will imprison him and I will humiliate him. So he was taken to prison. But all these steps that were taken against Yusuf alayhi salam turned in his favor. The prison, the well, became the stepping stone for him to go to Egypt. And then the prison became the stepping stone for him to interpret the dream. And then the guy went and he interpreted the dream to the king. And then the king he saw a dream, and he was looking for someone to interpret the dream. So he was told that there is a guy in your prison that can interpret the dream. He interpreted his dream, and then he became his advisor, and then he became the king of the kings. So sometimes people, all the nation during Ibrahim's time, they tried to humiliate him. قالوا سمعنا فتى يذكرهم يقال له إبراهيم. We heard of a little boy who speaks ill of these idols. They said, bring him. اقتلوه أو حرقوه. Let's either kill him or burn him alive. فأنجاه الله من النار. إن في ذلك لآيات لقوم يؤمنون. But God saved him. And there are signs for those people who have receptive hearts, people that believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There is a stark contrast between what happened in the past and what's going on today. Let me give you another example to put things into perspective. There is a city in Poland. You probably have heard the name of the city because it's been mentioned in the news. The city is called Auschwitz. Auschwitz houses one of the most notorious concentration camps that was used by the Nazis to exterminate the Jews in Europe. Auschwitz is visited by approximately 2 million people per year. They go there to visit the concentration camp. That was one day a concentration camp. And they celebrate every year. They go there to remember what happened to them. A couple of years ago, the Israeli government, they asked the Polish government to allow them to fly their fighter jets over the concentration camp, even though the two governments are close. But to do such a thing is a bit sensitive. It's a sensitive thing to do, to use your fighter jets to fly over a sovereign country at a short or altitude, low altitude. Eventually the Polish government, they agreed. So they flew 3 F-16 fighter jets over the concentration camp at a low altitude, and they took a picture. This picture now hangs on the wall of the defense minister in Israel. Every defense minister that assumes power will have to see this picture hanging on the wall. And anyone visiting the defense minister will see this picture hanging on the wall. The message that this picture is trying to convey is that one day we were persecuted. One day we were killed. But look at us today. Look at how powerful we've become. Look at our aerial supremacy. Look at our fighter jets. Now with Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam, it's not about political rivalry. It's not about making political scores. In fact, it's not about saying that the Shias are now stronger than everybody else. Imam al-Hussein's message is universal. What this ziyarah is trying to impart to us is that God exists. And that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keeps His promises. And that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is in charge. And that this world is not a lawless jungle. He was alone. He was a lonely man on the day of Ashura. And yet look at how powerful Imam al-Hussein is today. Imam al-Hussein has a government. But this government has no borders. He has a lot of citizens. But his citizens are not confined to a geographic location. He's got a lot of soldiers. He's got an entire army. But his soldiers are peaceful. They don't carry guns. And these soldiers, they maneuver spontaneously. If a government wants to galvanize an army, they have to do it with a lot of effort. But with Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam, it doesn't require any effort. In fact, this ziyarah is not preceded by a massive media campaign to encourage people to visit Imam al-Hussein. Absolutely not. It's a spontaneous thing. There is a flame within the hearts of every mu'min that would impel, that serves as a driving force for the faithful, for the lovers of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. And again, it's not exclusive to Shias. Anyone that gets to know Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam will understand what I'm talking about, can relate to my speech. You get to know him, you can't help but fall in love with Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. Now, what is this ziyarah trying to achieve? What is the purpose of this ziyarah? What is the purpose of this ziyarah? So one, the purpose is to prove the very existence of God. Number two, to bring people together, to create harmony, to create unity. Brothers and sisters, generally speaking, we are very segregated. There are many things that would separate us. There are many things that would create disunity amongst us. People from different backgrounds, different languages, the language barrier, the ethnic barrier, the color barrier, geography is a barrier. And during these times, even who you follow as a marja' can be segregating. I know of certain places, when you go to propose to marry their daughter, they would ask you this question: who do you follow? If you follow a specific marja' that they don't follow, they say, look, we apologize, but we don't give to the followers of other maraja'. And in this day and age, even the football team that you support can be a segregating factor. And if you look at the world today, yes, you might be able to bring people together to support a cause, but to bring the hearts together is a mission that cannot be accomplished. It's impossible. Absolutely impossible. Look at the world today. When you look at the people that go to Hajj, for example, yes, they do tawaf together, they wear the same ihram, the same clothes, and they pray together in a uniform fashion. It's so nice, but this is all symbolic. The only thing that unites the Muslims is the direction of the Qibla. We pray towards the same Kaaba. Otherwise, these same people that come to Hajj, when they go back to their countries, they kill each other. So there is no real harmony. There is no real unity. But when you come to Hussein alayhi salam, people brush all their differences aside. I've never seen a diverse number of people, millions of people, something that I've never seen in Hajj, that come together like the people that come to Karbala. And yet you feel that the hearts are very close towards each other. One small example is the example of the Iranians and the Iraqis. You know that the Iranians and the Iraqis, they fought against each other for 8 years. One of the implications of this war was harboring hate against each other. I've met Iranians in Karbala. A lot of them told me that we had a different impression of Iraqis. We hated Iraqis because of the war. More than 1 million people perished in that war. They said, but when we came to Karbala, these people are angels. And true. For the duration of the ziyarah, people turn into angels. You don't see people fighting during the ziyarah. I once saw a man trampled over another man who was asleep. Usually when you're asleep and someone falls on you, you would get up, you want to fight. But this guy, he got up and he chased that guy who fell over him. He chased him. The guy apologized, of course. He chased after him. I was waiting to see, something happened between the two. But he went and he said, I want to kiss your foot. You see people begging each other to provide them accommodation in their makeshift tents. It's unbelievable. And it's a Quranic concept. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَاعْتَصِبُوا بِحَبْلِ اللَّهِ. If you want to come together, the only thing that can bring you together is the rope of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What is the rope of God? God doesn't have a rope hanging from the sky. The rope of God are the Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam. And the pathway to all of the Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam is Imam al-Hussein alayhis salam. This is what brings us together. This is what creates harmony. This is why we should use the banner of Imam al-Hussein to create even more harmony in every community, in every society. We should invest in this God-given gift. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has endowed us with this gift. That's the second aspect. So the first aspect was proving the existence of God. The second aspect is creating harmony and unity. Number 3, these people that go for ziyarah, they do so, again, spontaneously, because Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam invited them. Imam al-Hussein invited all of us. It was a general invitation to all of us when he made that plea. He said, is there anyone willing to help us? His message resonated within all the people, all the generations that came after Ashura. So it wasn't exclusive to his time. No. Because who was the Imam beseeching? Was he beseeching the people that had come to shed his blood? No. He was talking to other people. Just like the story of Ibrahim alayhi salam. Ibrahim alayhi salam, when he finished building the Kaaba, Allah told him to climb on the mountain and invite the people to come. So he said, God, who should I invite? I mean, we're in a barren land. No vegetation would grow in this land. There's no water, there's nothing. Except for Zamzam, of course, which was a miracle of God. God told him, Ya Ibrahim, you go on the mountain, invite the people, we will deliver that message to the people. Him and his son and his wife. So he goes on the mountain that oversees the Kaaba, Mount Abi Qubais. He goes on the mountain and he says, Ayyuhan nas, I invite you to come to visit the house of God. The hadith says that God delivered that message to all the people. Yes, even me and you. People who were in the wombs of their mothers and in the backs of their fathers. This message was delivered to us. So people responded. If you said labbaik once, you go to Hajj once in your lifetime. If you back then, when the message was delivered to you, if you said labbaik Allahumma labbaik twice, you go twice to Hajj. If you said it thrice, you go to Hajj 3 times. Now the people that go to Hajj, when you want to wear the ihram, one of the obligations is to say labbaik Allahumma labbaik. If you forget to say labbaik Allahumma labbaik, you should go back to Masjid al-Shajara, to the miqat, and say it again. You have to say it, because you have come to respond, to heed the call of Ibrahim alayhi salam. Now the people that go to ziyarah, what do they say? They say labbaik ya Hussein, labbaik ya Hussein. They're heeding the call of Abu Abdullah, because he made that plea on the day of Ashura. Here I am, O Abu Abdullah. I came to support you. O Abu Abdullah, I came to support you. Ya ibn Rasulillah. There is in one of the visitations, when you visit Karbala in Rajab, there is a special ziyarah in Rajab, in the month of Rajab, the holy month of Rajab. In that ziyarah, there is an expert that says, Sayyidi ya Abu Abdullah, in kana lam yujibka badani عند استغاثتك. If I wasn't there to physically support you, Abu Abdullah, with my hands, with my body, فقد أجابك سمعي وبصري وقلبي ولحمي ومخي ودمي وعظامي. If I wasn't on the day of Ashura to support you with my hands, then I have come today to support you with my eyes, with my ears, with my hands, with my tongue, with my legs, with my feet, with my bones, with my blood, with everything that I have. Now, The question is, Imam al-Hussein has a massive army now. Just in Karbala, 20 million people. It's a massive army. But the question is, Imam al-Hussein has been martyred. And we can't do anything to change history. We can't change anything that happened in the past. So what is all that zeal about? All that passion, all that love, all that devotion? Is there a direction that we're heading towards when it comes to these sha'air? Absolutely. Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam started a mission. But this mission will be accomplished by his heir. It will be accomplished by none other than Imam al-Mahdi ajjalallahu ta'ala farajahu al-sharif. This is why when Allah speaks about Imam al-Mahdi in the Quran, He refers to him as the avenger or the heir to Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. وَمَنْ قُتِلَ مَظْلُومًا فَقَدْ جَعَلْنَا لِوَلِيِّهِ سُلْطَانًا. And a person who was killed while he was oppressed, we gave his heir the authority to rise. So Imam al-Zaman's role is to rise to avenge the blood of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. That's his role. This is why the relationship between the two is a very strong relationship. In fact, the hadith says that when Imam al-Hussein was killed, imagine, he is the last member of the people of the cloak. When the nation of Salih killed the she-camel, what did God do? It's in the Quran. فَدَمْدَمَ عَلَيْهِمْ رَبُّهُمْ بِذَنْبِهِمْ فَسَوَّاهَا وَلَا يَخَافُ عُقْبَاهَا. God obliterated them. God is not fearful of the outcome. He's the Lord of the Lords. And yet, the grandson of Rasulullah is killed in such a brutal fashion. And God did not interfere. فَضَجَّتِ الْمَلَائِكَةُ وَعَجَّتْ. The angels began to weep and cry. They were astonished. What is going on? This is when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave them the insight to see a man standing. He said to them, "Bihi sa'antaqimu lah." Through the standing man, al-qa'im, I will be taking revenge, avenging the blood of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. This is why all this hype, all this momentum, all this zeal is directed towards one person. And that person is Imam al-Zaman. يا ابن الحسن روحي فداك متى ترانا ونراك يا ابن الحسن کجایی مردم از این جدایی من دست خالی آمدم یا ایها العزیز O our master, O our imam, O the heir of Imam al-Hussein, O Hussein of his time. Imam al-Hussein was one day lonely. And this is very heart-wrenching, right? And we say, Ya laytana kunna ma'ak. But the Imam of our time is also lonely. Where are the supporters of the Imam of our time? من دست خالی آمدم. I came to you empty-handed. دست منو دامان تو. Please take my hands, O Mawla. سر تا به پا درد و غمم have a lot of pain, a lot of anguish. Dard mano, dard mano, darman to. Can you cure my diseases, O Mawla? Can you heal me? To harche خوبی من بدم. I am not a righteous slave of yours, O Mawla. I've sinned a lot, but you're a good person. You would forgive me. Bihude bar har dar zadam. I've tried different paths, different routes, knocked a lot of doors. آخر به این در آمدم باشم کنار خانه تو. But eventually I came to your door. I'm knocking at your door. Please embrace me. Please accept me. من از همه دراندم من رانده واماندم یا خوانده یا نخواندم اکنون منم مهمان تو. You're the only medium between me and God. I am your guest, O Mawla. پای من از ره خسته شد بال و پرم بشکسته شد. I am sick and tired of everything. I am sick and tired of life. Please embrace me, O Mawla. هر در برویم بسته شد جز درگه احسان تو. گفتم منم در میزنم گفتی به تو سر میزنم. يا ابن الحسن, together with one voice. يا ابن الحسن, يا ابن الحسن, call your imam. يا ابن الحسن, يا ابن الحسن, he can hear you. يا ابن الحسن, يا ابن الحسن, يا ابن الحسن, يا ابن الحسن. ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. To hasten in his reappearance, please recite Dua al-Faraj together with one loud voice. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم كن لوليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا بأهيا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. Please recite aloud salawat.
حسین یا حسین یا حسین حسین یا 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 حسین. خوشنودی در فرج آقای امام زمان. بلند صلوات. تازه جوانم علی، روح روانم علی، دوری روی تو کت سیر ز جانم علی. تازه جوانم علی، روح روانم علی، دوری روی تو کت سیر ز جانم علی. تازه سرز جانم علی، رفتی و بردی ز دل تاب و توانم علی. داغ فراق تو زد شعله به جانم علی، رفتی و بردی ز دل تاب و توانم علی. داغ فراق تو زد شعله به جانم علی. بعد تو امید من قطع شد از زندگی، داغ فراقت بباد نام و نشانم علی. تازه جوانم علی، روح و روانم علی، دوری روی تو کت سیر ز جانم علی. تازه جوانم علی، روح و روانم علی، دوری روی تو کت سیر ز جانم علی. رفتی و از رفتنت، رفتی و از رفتنت باب تو دلگیر شد. مادرت ای نوجوان از غم تو پیر شد. در کف دشمن اسیر، در کف دشمن اسیر، پیر و زمین گیر شد. دوری روی تو کت سیر ز جانم علی. تازه جوانم علی، روح روانم علی، دوری روی تو کت سیر ز جانم علی. تازه جوانم علی، روح روانم علی، دوری روی تو کت سیر ز جانم علی. مانده به دل آرزو، مانده به دل آرزو، تا که در این وادیت پاک کنم از روی مه اجل گلی شاییت. کنم از روی تو مهر اجل شاییت. تازه جوانم علی، روح روانم علی، روی تو کردی جانم علی. تازه جوانم علی، روح روانم علی، روی تو کردی جانم علی. ای گل باغ حسین، ای گل باغ حسین، اکبر نصری نزار، دیده زینب بود بهر تو در انتظار. گریه کنم توبه کی، گریه کنم توبه کی، در غم تو زار زار، بی تو رود در فلک آه و فغانم علی. تازه جوانم علی، روح روانم علی، دوری روی تو کت سیر ز جانم علی. تازه جوانم علی، روح روانم علی، دوری روح تو کت سیر ز جانم علی. روی تو چون مصطفی، روی تو چون مصطفی، راه تو همچون علی، بر دل سودای من چون سخن منزلی، بر دل سودای من چون سخن منزلی. تازه جوانم علی، سرو روانم علی، دوری روی تو کت سیر ز جانم علی. تازه جوانم علی، روح روانم علی، دوری روح تو کت سیر ز جانم علی. خوشنودی شهدای کربلا بلند سلام. نکن. در دل مانده رویایت، بر لب نام زیبایت، اربابم حسین جان میمیرم برایت. در دل مانده رویایت، بر لب نام زیبایت، اربابم حسین جان میمیرم برایت. ای نام و نشان من، ای نام و نشان من، ای جان و جهان من، میگیرم سراغت، میگریم زداغت، میگیرم سراغت، میگریم زداغت، میگیرم سراغت، میگریم زداغت. مصباح الهدای تو، محبوب خدای تو، مصباح الهدای تو، محبوب خدای تو، روشن است و راهم، محتاج نگاهم، محتاج نگاهم. ای عشق نخستینم، معیار دل و دینم، جانم را رها کن، نظر کربلا کن، 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 جانم را رها کن، نظر کربلا کن. ای خاکت بهشت من، زیبا سرنوشت من، ای حسن حسینم، باقی است تو دینم، ای حسن حسینم، باقی است تو دینم. نامت موحی الاموات، مهرت قاضی الحاجات، جان عالمی تو، اسم اعظمی تو، جانم را رها کن، نظر کربلا کن، جانم را رها کن، نظر کربلا کن، جانم را رها کن، نظر کربلا کن. صلوات.
या हुसैन कुनबाए आले नबी काबिल आज़ार न था, 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 जो सितम पे हुए उनका सज़ावार न था, जो सितम पे हुए उनका सज़ावार न था, कुनबाए आले नबी काबिल आज़ार न था। हल्के असग़र के निशाने जो किए तीरों ने,
ہلکے اصغر کے نشان جو کیے تیروں نے، کسی مذہب میں بھی وہ بچہ گناہگار نہ تھا، کسی مذہب میں بھی وہ بچہ گناہگار نہ تھا، کنبائے آل نبی قابل آدار نہ تھا، کنبائے آل نبی قابل آدار نہ تھا، کس نے در چھین لیے، کس نے تماچے مارے، کس نے در چھین لیے، کس نے تماچے مارے، ان تماچوں کے لیے وقف و رخسار نہ تھا، ان تماچوں کے لیے وقف و رخسار نہ تھا، کنبائے آل نبی قابل آدار نہ تھا، کس نے در چھین لیے، کس نے تماچے مارے، کس نے در چھین لیے، کس نے تماچے مارے، ان تماچوں کے لیے وقف و رخسار نہ تھا، ان تماچوں کے لیے وقف و رخسار نہ تھا، کنبائے آل نبی قابل آدار نہ تھا، کس لیے سینہ اکبر پہ چلائی برچھی، کس لیے سینہ اکبر پہ چلائی برچھی، کیا وہ ہم شکل نبی احمد مختار نہ تھا، کیا وہ ہم شکل نبی احمد مختار نہ تھا، کنبائے آل نبی قابل آدار نہ تھا، کس لیے سینہ اکبر پہ چلائی برچھی، کس لیے سینہ اکبر پہ چلائی برچھی، کیا وہ ہم شکل نبی احمد مختار نہ تھا، کیا وہ ہم شکل نبی احمد مختار نہ تھا، کنبائے آل نبی قابل آدار نہ تھا، کنبائے آل نبی قابل آدار نہ تھا، ہلکے اصغر کے نشان جو کیے تیروں نے، ہلکے اصغر کے نشان جو کیے تیروں نے، کسی مذہب میں بھی وہ بچہ گناہگار نہ تھا، کسی مذہب میں بھی وہ بچہ گناہگار نہ تھا، کنبائے آل نبی قابل آدار نہ تھا، آل نبی قابل آدار نہ تھا، کس نے در چھین لیے، کس نے تماچے مارے، کس نے در چھین لیے، کس نے تماچے مارے، ان تماچوں کے لیے وقف و رخسار نہ تھا، ان تماچوں کے لیے وقف و رخسار نہ تھا، کنبائے काबिल आज़ार न था, जो सितम पे हुए उनका सजावार न था।
السلام عليك يا رسول الله، السلام عليك يا نبي الله، السلام عليك يا أمير المؤمنين يا سيد الوسيين، السلام عليك يا فاطمة الزهراء سيدة نساء العالمين، السلام عليك يا أبا محمد يا حسن بن علي الزكي، السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك، عليك مني سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار، ولا جعله الله آخر العهد مني لزيارتكم. Everybody. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا علي بن الحسين يا زين العابدين، السلام عليك يا محمد الباقر، السلام عليك يا جعفر الصادق، السلام عليك يا موسى كاظم، السلام عليك يا علي بن موسى الرضا، كن شفيعنا وشفيع والدينا في يوم الجزاء. السلام عليك يا محمد الجواد، السلام عليك يا علي الهادي، السلام عليك يا حسن العسكري الزكي، السلام عليك يا صاحب العصر والزمان، السلام عليك يا خليفة الرحمن، السلام عليك يا كعبة الإيمان. الأمان 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 من فتنة الزمان، عجل الله تعالى فرجك وسهل الله مخرجك وظهورك وجعلنا من خير أعوانك وانصارك. السلام عليكم يا أهل بيت النبوة جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته.